Hey all, so I had teased that the season finale was going to be released today or tomorrow, Tuesday. It's Monday evening. And when I did that, I was feeling unmotivated to do more work this season, but I ended up having a burst of inspiration and energy in the last week. So I did a full week of tire pounding. And so that's what this video is going to be. It's going to show this whole tire pounding project and how it goes one tower at a time and achieves several different objectives. And then the recap that I teased in the post, which the posts just got unlocked on the channel on YouTube, so I can make posts as well as just post videos. And polls and stuff. I don't know if I'll do polls at some point, but anyways, so the recap video will come later. This will be part 1 of the season 9 finale, and the part 2 will be within the next week, and there will be other videos, but they just won't be weekly videos like they have been for the last 26 weeks now. So now there's the off season, and some stuff will still get done. I'll make some videos, but it'll just be a much slower pace, so it wouldn't make sense to do weekly videos. And then the season 10 will start in May of next year, and I've got all sorts of projects planned for then, which I'm already excited about. And so here is the final week's projects of the season 9. Hey all, it is Tuesday afternoon, and it's a beautiful, warm, sunny fall day. Most of the leaves on the trees have fallen, but yeah, really warm today. And even though I was kind of out of energy last week and seemingly running out of steam, today I'm ready for a new project after a little bit of reorientation. And right in front of us is the small tower, which is on the edge of a hillside here. There's a tower staircase going up, and I am a bit concerned about this basically leaning out because the hillside isn't super strong, and this hillside can slump, and so I'm concerned about this leaning out. It's hard to actually see in here, but so here we have there's a tire foundation, a fair cement ceiling, tires. This is the tall side of it over here, and then it goes up to over here. So, and then there's a little hole in the ceiling. I need to make sure water doesn't get in here, because that's the main thing causing this to move, is the ice and water. Go ahead, bud. In the wintertime. So at some point this will get closed off with like a window, and this will get integrated into a structure that's up there. But in the meantime, I don't want it to... Go ahead. I don't want it to lean out. So what I'm going to do is start building a buttress tire wall off of this tire here, which you can barely see. It's got grass growing out of it. So I'm going to clear that off and start doing some tires up to there, and take dirt out from here. It's hard to see everything because it's all kind of overgrown. But I'll take the dirt out from there near where that level is and bring some tires up here, and we'll see how it goes. So we ran into a bit of a hiccup. This is the area where I was going to be pulling dirt out of, and it turns out I'm digging right into an old rock wall that was probably on the edge of the old property. I'm like built on the property line, so I'm right on top of this rock wall. And there's an old barbed wire fence over there. I don't know why they're 10 feet apart, but regardless, I can't take dirt out of here because it's just going to take all my effort to excavate rocks instead of move dirt, and I've got to put all my energy into the tires. So here's a start of what's going on here. So I've repounded this tire and that tire on top, and then set these 2 tires. And so I gotta fill them with fill, and then do the next course, and then I'm gonna work up maybe 2 tires and then bring them together. We'll see how many I can get done today, but I gotta find dirt from a new place. So here's where I figured out where to get the dirt from, which is way further away than I wanted. There's the shipping container, and there's this mound of dirt over here by this beautiful maple tree, and the raised bed, and the fence. And I want to get this mound of dirt out of here, so I guess this is where I'm taking the dirt from. And just got to carry it one bucket at a time all the way over there. Alright, that's all for today. Got 2 tires repounded, 2 new tires pounded, and then 2 additional tires set and filled with dirt, or the dirt up here for them. So if I can keep that pace, I'll definitely be able to finish this week. We'll see how it goes. That's all for today. So it's Wednesday morning, another beautiful day. I'm going to start on pounding those 2 tires up on the left. And then over here where the dirt is coming from, I'm carrying it up this hill from over here. So I made a good dent in this pile of dirt here. And at some point this whole pile will get used. We'll see if that's today or how much progress gets made. And also, I'm not exactly clear on what design I'm doing. At first I was thinking I was just going to buttress right up to the structure. But the way this is going, the tires are kind of out from the hill. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to keep the tires up against the hill or if I'm going to make kind of a gap between these tires and that structure. But we'll kind of see as it goes. We'll just go with whatever kind of happens. So I got kind of an idea, a better idea of how this is all going to go. So I put that 3rd one there, so it's like 2 deep there, and then I'll put a real big tire splitting those 3 tires. And here's a little view of what I'm doing inside the tires. So the bottom lip is packed out with rocks. I don't know how good the lighting is there, but and then I also screwed the tires together, which is something they don't do in the earthship school, but I feel like that probably helps. And so basically I'm going to put a big tire here and then 2 tires in between this big once I got to pound those 2. And I had a big one here, and then I got to add 2 more in between those 2, so there will be a course of 4 on that level. And basically right where that mortar is on that tire wall, that's the spot where I'm aiming for, where or actually it's a rock there, and that's where it's kind of bulging out, so that's where I want to reinforce. So I've got quite a bit to do. I've got a number of tires here, and then once those get used up, I've got plenty more tires. But there's a little progress report for now. Got to get back to moving dirt and get these next 2 done. Thursday morning on this here tire project, and I don't know how many I did yesterday, but is this 2 days now? I think it's 2 days. This is day number 3. Tire project. I got those 2 pounded. I got to start, or yesterday. Now I got to start on these ones. And the mound is getting pretty small over there. Might get through it today. For this little area, and then there was 1 or maybe even 2 underneath of it, but at least for this one and then 1 underneath of it, where there's 3 coming together. In the middle, I'm putting building up rocks so that it won't expand from the middle if there's moisture in there, and should hopefully make that less water retentive in the middle, which is less potential for future expansion. So I finished those 2, and I'm working on the next course now, and I'm thinking that this one there's going to be like a, not just buttress, but there's going to be like a walkway around to get to the upper terrace. There might actually be 2 terraces on this hillside, depending on how I cut it. But I think either the 1 terrace or the upper terrace will be at the level of these tires. And so this will be the walk over where this terrace loops around, and then on the far side it'll connect to the garage. But now I'm going to set this next course. Good morning, Friday morning, It was below freezing last night. I think I got like 5 tires done or something yesterday. So you can see here how there's a stepping room on these 2 tires. That's gonna be the way to walk around, kind of like a staircase going around that way to the terrace. And then this section here is what is gonna go up to the buttress that. So I've got 1 tire here which is rocked and set. This tire here is also rocked and set from yesterday, and so that's where I'll start. And then there will be another 4 tires on this next course after I finish that one, and hopefully I can get through that today. It's important to be as efficient as possible in everything that we do so we can get as much done with the limited amount of energy that we have. So so I'm doing 4 things at once. So I'm building the buttress for the tower. I'm building a staircase to get over to the terrace there. And I'm removing this dirt mound here to make this room accessible. I'm just about finished. There's just this bit left, which might not even fill those 2 tires I have set. And then the 4th thing that's getting done is basically building a swale in this area. So this is like the lowest part of the territory of Allodium. This fence is the property of OG Foundation, and so this is the lowest part where the water runs off, and so all of the top part the top soil that I'm digging out of this mound is ending up right here. So that's building like a little swale to keep more water retention in and to prevent water from just running off down the hill, which will benefit this beautiful maple tree here, which I purposefully enclosed in the fence here. So sometime we might share in a little bit of its sap. So yeah, efficiency, 4 things at once. I'm gonna get to it. I forgot there's actually a 5th thing that I'm doing at the same time. So as I dig up the dirt, I separate the dirt from the rocks. I throw the rocks over here. Before, someone had asked, where do you get all these rocks? So the rocks are in the dirt. I separate the rocks, put the dirt in the tires, and then the rocks can pack out the bottom of the tires to prevent the dirt from falling out, can build other kind of rock walls and dirt retaining walls and stuff like that. So 5 things. Oh, and then a correction. This isn't actually the lowest spot. This is the lowest spot of this field, but there's another area over there where there's a tire staircase that goes down to an even lower spot. Just to correct myself. So I got the last 2 buckets out of here, and there's no more dirt to extract, but there's still a pile of rocks available as resources. And just dragged out some of the top greenery, mulch and leaves and stuff over the pad so that it should be naturally reseeded next year. And yeah, at some point I'll use this dirt. But for the rest of the tires, I suppose I'll have to source it from right here. This is kind of a pile here, so not quite as far as the last one. And here's how this is looking. The last 2 buckets there should be enough to finish off the tire on the right, because I just finished this top tire. So I do the corner ones first because they're heaviest, and then I can know how far to dig in on that side and how to set these ones. So once I finish this tire, I can set 2 more on this side, and then I'll set the 3rd one there, and then work on getting them all set before getting to sourcing the new dirt. So this is the corner of the small tower, which I'm reinforcing right up to where that rock is, basically. And it's overgrown with vines, so you can't see it very well. But it's about 5 years old-ish, maybe 6 years old, I don't know. But look, oh, Lewis just found it. One of the reasons, I guess, why it's leaning, or why the foundation is not very strong, is that I don't know if you can actually see, but Lewis is right in the way. Lewis, your butt is in the way. But there's several holes going in right under this corner tower. So I guess critters were just burrowing in right underneath the tire. And of course they're all on the outside edge. And that leads obviously to undermining the foundation of the tire. So with the tires like this, there's going to be no way to undermine the whole thing. Although at the bottom, critters could still try to do it, I guess. But it's why I like to go up and cover the exposed dirt face with rock and cement to reinforce it. And there's a good reason why it should always be like that, because when it's not, the critters can undermine it. So here you can get a somewhat decent view of how this buttress is getting up under where this structure is furthest out by that rock. So level or vertical is something like that or something. So that's what, like, basically where that's under, something like that. So this tire is already a good 6 inches. The edge of this tire is 6 inches this way from underneath that. So it's already getting up under there, which is what I'm aiming for with the buttress. And another thing I'm aiming for is for the mass of what I'm building to lean in against the tower. So hopefully the dynamics of the weight and how I'm designing this, where the hardest points should be furthest out, so that the weight, and then also the level of the tire, so that the weight of this is going to want to lean in against that where it's most leaning out. And it's still hard to see what this all looks like because the vines are growing all over it, but as I get up closer I have to cut some of those vines away as well. But I got the next 3 tires set. You can kind of see how, like, especially that far back one is leaning. It's not level, and that's what I want, is I want it to lean, and also for those to be lower than the corner tire, so that the weight is like stacking up like that, so it wants to put a force inward. So I'm actually putting a whole bunch of stone in the middle there, so I'm transferring that whole rock pile now from over there and putting most of the stone in there. I've got at least like a foot of it in the middle of, not each just in the individual tires, but in this whole area right there. I just put several buckets of stone in there, and then that will be good for drainage and to prevent this from being undermined, and should have a number of benefits by having the stone there. But yeah, I got to find a new source for dirt now in order to fill the next 3 tires, which are all set. So I did a further sorting of the rocks. I got all of the small, medium-sized ones into buckets and brought up to the behind the 4 tire course. And then I just left a smaller pile of just the biggest rocks, and then a couple of the light ones, which aren't really rocks. They're meant for a higher plane because they're lighter. These rocks I'm either going to build a rock wall with, or I'm going to kind of... Actually, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them at the bottom of the tree, as if they will be like the weight, the counterweight for this tree to stay in here, as opposed to falling down the hill. And these ones obviously are going to go up the hill, and then all of the remains of this dirt pile will be gone, and should be a flat patch of grass for next year. So that seemed like a good use for the rest of the big rocks. It's like a little monument to the big tree on the uphill side with a little bit of weight to make its resistance of gravity and the wind just a little bit aided. And this is where the rock pile ended up. probably at least 2 feet vertical of that rock column now, which is enclosed by tires on 3 sides, and then the side that needs to get buttressed on the other side. Saturday morning, and 3 tires done before breakfast, and I just noticed, I don't know if you can see, but there's a couple baby horses. Ooh, look at them go. I'm gonna go in there and say hi. So I got the next 3 tires set and all rocked. This one is totally full of rocks, and those ones just the edges. This one, there's a gap on the far side, so I was able to get a PVC pipe down in between the buttress and the next wall, which could be for wires or fluid drainage at some point, I don't know. But there's just enough room for that. And then this tire fits into those other 2 tires perfectly, so it's already gonna catch the weight just from this one, from how it sits. I'm not sure if I could make that work for the next one, but that might actually determine how far in I put the next one. I don't know, but I gotta fill these 3 with dirt, and then once I do that and pound them, then I'll squeeze in a tire there, which is the same size as this tire. It's just a little squishier, so I can, and I probably won't have to squeeze too much in between there. And then this course is the first course of the buttress, which directly abuts the small tower. So I was able to screw that one into the towers, but it's not really the screws that really make a difference, but it's the earth that I'll be able to pound into that gap right there in that tire with the sledgehammer. That will start to act as the support, so that that can't sag anymore. And yeah, we'll see if the next tire course can get under that one when we get to it. But if I can even just pound these 3 tires today, I'll be happy. There'll be 6 tires today, and just a little at a time, and it'll eventually get all done. And I was also just really stoked about how the PVC was able to fit in there. And one of the things that inspired me of that was the hose right here I have running from an IBC towed up top, which is like a water tower, so there could be gravity fed drip system to plants down there. So this could either be to run a hose through, or electric, or it could be a drain for this tower at some point. But yeah, just happy how that kind of all came together, and how this is coming together, and it's just going great. I just got to move more dirt. Oh, and I will show you. Oh, and so here's how it looks for right here for the walkway, which will go to the terrace. So you can see how the pathway kind of splits here. Well, it's hard with the light maybe, but there's this staircase that goes up, and then you can go across that way, or you can go down. And I'm having a hard time seeing the screen as I'm doing this, but here's the transition basically to the 2. So yeah, and then down here, the new place where I'm getting dirt, I'm getting tires from down there, and I found a new place to get dirt, which is just slightly closer than the last one, which is all cleared up. But right here is the new dirt pile that I'm excavating. And then the other thing I'm doing is the berry bushes, which are growing out of here. That's what these viney type things are, like black raspberry bushes, I think. So I'm transplanting them to over there, that dirt project I had done earlier in the season, and over there into that swale that I just made, semi-swale, but just like mound of biomass, so that this food production will perform even better next year, and I won't lose out these berries. And yep, now to moving the dirt again. What is this? Broken pick. What's strange is this is the shaft. It's a pretty solid shaft. But it has this weird cut right around, evenly right around the whole inside, where I guess, it's hard with the light, I guess, I mean, it broke this whole plastic thing, but for some reason they had to, I guess, narrow the shaft just a tiny little bit. You can see kind of the brake line, but there's the strange smooth kind of edge for like a 32nd of an inch or a millimeter or something. So yeah, I broke in shovels, I broke in sledgehammers. This is the first pick I think I broke in, or maybe I have broken a pick before, I don't know, but this one had a really nice shaft. So, and it looked so heavy duty, I definitely did not think I would break this one. Anyways, luckily I've got a backup. It's the junior version, so it's a little bit smaller in comparison, and I'll have to replace, so I can keep working, but I'll have to replace this. I'll probably be able to reuse this steel. I'll have to figure out how to set a shaft in that, or maybe I can just buy a shaft, or maybe I can even reuse this. No, I don't think I can reuse the same one, it won't be long enough, but I'll figure something out to reuse this steel at some point, and keep going with the dirt. So Sunday morning, I was able to finish those 3 big truck tires yesterday, and then I just squeezed this tire in. So I'll set that with rocks and get it all screwed, and then proceed to fill this middle area with rocks, which I imagine I am going to have to quarry out that rock pile there to get all those rocks, and then we'll start on the next course, which will also be 4 tires, and then it might reduce to 3 in the following course. So first step is, well, today basically, is doing this tire, the rocks, and the next 4 tires. I got stopped in the middle of my tire work by a barbarian invasion. Gonna have to fight them off. They're big and ferocious, and not listening and going in the wrong places. So hopefully I can finish those last 2 tires today. So it's Monday morning. I was able to finish the goal for yesterday to get those tires done and to fill the middle area with rocks. So I've got this first tire set. I just got to rock it, and that one's pretty much where I want it. And this is going to reduce from 4 to 3 in this course, so there's just going to be 1 in between them. And today's the last day of the week and the official season for this nice season here. I'm going to try to finish up this whole buttress project today. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so it's Monday afternoon. I finished the first course of 3 tires, and then I got this tire done, which is the first tire on the next, and figured out how to transition down to 1 tire. So the next course, the next course will be a 2 tire, but 1 will be a little tiny tire like that, which I'll fill the gap with rocks. So next step here is to rock up and then fill with dirt. So yeah, so then these 2 come together to fill the cap off the rock segment. So there's a big mass of rock in the middle of these tires, which is kind of cool. So what am I saying? Oh, well, I just realized as I'm doing this that the rock won't expand with the same way the tires do, and it won't slump over time. So it adds a whole structural element actually to have those rocks wedged in there. And then the pipe is in there. And so yeah, I just got to rock up and dirt up these 2 tires here, and then that course will be done. I'll add some rocks, and then I'll put that big tire in position. That's not where it's going to be. I'm going to move it in between these, and then it'll be at least 1 more course with 1 tire. So I got these 2, a big one, at least 1 more, maybe 2 more, and hopefully I can get it all done by today. That's how much sky is left. And yeah, I'll get to it. So I got a 275 up top, which is a big tire. It's probably the biggest one here. And here with this little tire, it's just got rocks under there supporting it. I'll put some more in. And this is how this looks on the inside with the rocks, so the dirt doesn't fall out. And here it's connecting to the whole rock column that's in between them. So this will take probably 7 or 8 buckets of full buckets of fill to pound in there, and then I'll do probably 2 more tires. We'll see if I can get that done today. Well, there she is, culmination of 1 week's worth work. The tire buttress on the corner of the small tower. Here is the second quarry kind of dig thing where I got all the dirt from to fill it after I used the other mound. So I made more area leveled and kind of accessible. Sun's going down, it's Halloween, and I'm dressing up as a dirty man. Got dirt all over, and I'll give you just a shot from over here so you get the idea of how the buttress is working. So that's where it was leaning out a little bit, basically right up to where the tires are, and now it's got this huge buttress to be able to share that weight. And how much of a difference it'll make this winter, I don't know, but probably next year I will add a bunch of mortar and rock onto it to connect the whole thing up to this small tower. And I don't know if I mentioned it already, but my plan is to build something on top of that and the foundation up there next year. But you'll have to wait for season 10 for that. Thanks for tuning in, and the part 2 of the finale, or I guess just the recap of the whole season, will be in a couple days, or probably before next Tuesday. But this is the last one of the week, so thanks for tuning in.